Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Dollars and Donuts. This is your Monday morning pick me up where we mix a little sweetness with some serious money talk. So, I'm your host, Janelle Bettis, and today, y'all, we're diving into something that's been holding a lot of us back, our financial fears. Can we be honest that has been a place that has been holding a lot of us back? And it's the stories that we begin to tell ourselves about money. And so before we dive in, I want you to grab your coffee, grab a donut, and let's rewrite our financial story. So we have the power to change how we see money. And today, we're going to dive into exactly how to move from fear to freedom. So, y'all ready? Let's get started. Today, we're going to move into what I like to call coffee and cash tip. This is where we are going to identify and move forward with some practical tools that we need to change our money story. So, I want you to first recognize that you have a money story. The way you think about money, it didn't start yesterday. It's actually been shaped by your past experiences. It's even been shaped by what you learn from your family or your community. But the great news is your story is not set in stone. You can rewrite it. And so that needs to be someone's declaration that I can rewrite my money story. And so whether you've had a story that's been based in fear, maybe you've told yourself, I'll never be good with money. Or you may say, I'm destined to always be in debt. It's time to change the script. I want you to start by first identifying those negative narratives and be intentional about changing them. Say, you're not stuck. You are not stuck. You have the power to change your future. Say that with me. I have the power to change my future. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit deeper, y'all. When we talk about rewriting our story, a lot of us have this inner dialogue about money that keeps us stuck. And so we might feel like I'll never make enough money, right? We might feel like money's always going to be a source of stress for me. And so these stories are often driven by fear, but they do not define your future. Say that with me. These stories do not define my future. So here's 3 tips on how we're going to focus on rewriting our story. Number 1, I want you to identify the fear. I want you to ask yourself, what am I really afraid of when it comes to money? Sit with that. What am I really afraid of when it comes to money? Is this fear and is it stem from feeling like I'm never going to have enough? Is it a fear of making mistakes? Or maybe it's a fear of repeating past failures. Whatever it is, naming the fear gives you power over it. Naming the fear gives you power over it. And we are owning the fears that we have concerning money. Number 2, I want you to reframe your mindset. Take that fear and turn it around. And so instead of thinking, I'll never get out of debt, start by saying, I am capable of paying off my debt one step at a time. Our language is so powerful. And when we speak positive about our finances, our mindsets begin to shift and our actions will follow. We want our actions to follow what we are speaking. Number 3, I want you to take an empowering action. Once you reframe your story, you want to take small, meaningful steps forward. And that may look like if you're working on paying off debt, you start with one bill. If you're building a savings, you put aside a small amount each week. Little by little, you'll start seeing progress. And that progress will help you to begin to rewrite your story. So I want you to remember that your financial story is not written in stone. It is not the end. It's a living, evolving narrative that you have the power to change. You are not stuck. You are not stuck. You are not stuck, but you do have the power to change your story. Okay, y'all. So one of my favorite segments of this show is that we get dollars in the mail. It's where we answer your money questions. And today's question comes from Jessica. She asked Janelle, I get so anxious when about my debt that I avoid looking at it. How can I stop feeling this way? Okay, Jessica, many of us are just like you. So we understand where you are and we understand how you feel. And so debt can feel like a heavy burden, but ignoring it only gives more control over your life. And so my advice to you is start by breaking it down. Today, I want you to take a small step. Maybe today you just write down the total amount. You can start there. Tomorrow, you may look at the minimum payment. You don't have to tackle it all at once. But when you have the courage to face it head on, you start to take control of it. And I want you to remember that paying debt off is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. But you got to remember that you celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. Celebrate every win that you have, because it is important to know that this is a journey and the journey is going to be well worth it. All right, y'all. So before we wrap up, let's debunk a common money myth in today's Money Myths and Morning Motivation. And so this myth says your financial story is fixed. And so I hope that you have learned that this is not the truth. So here's the truth. Your financial story is yours to rewrite, nobody else's. No matter what's happened in the past, you have the power to create a new chapter. Say that with me. I have the power to create a new chapter. It doesn't matter if you struggled with debt, or if you've missed opportunities or made bad decisions. Today is a new day and you can start fresh. And so here's your morning motivation to take you through the rest of this week. Your money story is not your destiny, it's your opportunity. So this week, I want to challenge you to take one step toward rewriting your financial story, whether it's creating that budget, whether it's learning about investing, or paying off a small debt. Start with shifting your story from one of fear to one of empowerment. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning for Dollars and Donuts. If today's episode helped you in any way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and share this with someone else. I hope to see you next week, same time, same place. And remember, keep your coffee hot, your donuts sweet, and your finances strong. Y'all have